confidence. My name's Alex, and this is Sigma Spirit. This is a channel for Sigma males, and today we're going to talk about confidence. Before we get into confidence, and before I tell you my secret, very cool system that I've been working on to increase confidence, I just want to say, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the content if you resonate with my philosophy, if you like it, if you're enjoying it. Today, we're going to focus on the first part of my confidence system. Now, this is a short version. This is the first half of my creation. And this creation I've made is from years of struggling with confidence. It's from years of feeling insecure, having low self-esteem, the way I grew up, the way I was born into this world, sort of misunderstood, born as a Sigma male, all these different environmental factors and a lot of my own things, on top of many things that I've done to myself, mostly my fault, has led to having very poor confidence, low self-esteem, undiagnosed mental health illnesses, things like that. So I created this because I wanted to give you the opportunity to know that you can grow your confidence from zero to wherever you want it to be. Why do we need to create a confidence system? What's wrong with what's out there right now? What's wrong with the people who teach confidence right now? So confidence is a very nebulous topic. No one really understands it. They think they do. They know what it looks like. But there's not a single person, I think, that you would talk to on a daily basis, not the experts, but the average person doesn't understand where confidence comes from. Now, the problem with learning confidence from a natural person, someone who has natural confidence, ingrained self-esteem, they naturally feel good about themselves, is that it's very hard to learn something from a natural. When someone is naturally talented at something, they don't understand the nuances. They don't understand the depth. They don't know what they do, where it comes from. It's like asking a horse how he got so fast. It's like asking a gorilla how he got so strong. It's not something that is always something you are consciously aware of. So that's my main problem with people who get online and they talk about confidence. Certain influencers and things like that tell you to be confident. They tell you to just go do the thing, just have confidence in your idea or have confidence in yourself. But to me, that is complete garbage because they don't understand what it's like when you have no confidence. And I have been there. I remember one time I was with my girlfriend and we were going to a dinner party. And these were people that I knew, and they were going to be friends that I didn't know. And I remember sitting in the car and I started crying, and I was 23. I started crying because I didn't want to go into this dinner party. I didn't want to have the conversations I was about to have. I didn't want to tell them about my job. I didn't want to answer these questions about where my life was heading. I had no confidence to go in there. And I just sat there and cried because the social pressure, the imagined social pressure, was too high and I was freaking out. And now when I think back on that, I smile and I laugh because it seems so silly that I would experience life like that. So to understand confidence, we need to understand the definition. And the definition that I love the most comes from an old dating coach named Alexander. And he said, confidence is when you perceive that nothing can hold you back or that you have no limits. Confidence is when you perceive nothing can hold you back. And when you really think about that, you think about how much of your life is spent thinking about your own limitations. And most of you don't even know the limitations you have. So my solution to this problem that I've been stuck with for so long, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, almost my whole life, past a certain age, is this idea of the confidence pyramid. And this video is just a short version of the whole thing. So this is just going to be the first half. And if you like this philosophy, if it resonates with you, if what I'm saying reaches you on a level that maybe some other people on the internet aren't reaching you on, like this video and tell me in the comments that you want to see the rest. You want to see the rest of the confidence pyramid, and you want to see it expanded, because my idea for next month is to create a longer masterclass version of this concept where we go through and I give you the full thing. So today I'm just going to give you the short version of the first 3 pillars of this confidence pyramid. So without any further hesitation, doubt, fear, let's get into it. And remember, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Just 3 steps. The first 3 steps out of 7, 8, 9 steps of this confidence pyramid. And the first step is presence and awareness. You need to clear the mind. You need to accept where you are right now. You need to be here, and you need to be who you are here. So Sigma males have a lot of strife with themselves. If you are not a fully realized Sigma male yet, you are going to have a lot of things about you that you don't understand. Being present, the first pillar of this confidence pyramid, is going to help you be here. It's going to help you stop fighting with yourself and just be here in this moment. By being here in this present moment, we can remove the harmful ego. Now, a lot of people talk about ego like it's the devil. Remove your ego. Or they imagine that ego is a sign of overconfidence. Oh, that guy's so confident. He's got a big ego. People are so confused about the idea of an ego. Ego is just an identity that you've created. There are far more people with insecure egos and low self-esteem egos than there are confident egos. So we're going to remove this harmful ego in this first stage. We're going to do that by sharing the light of your own presence and awareness on your mind. Later, we're going to talk about bringing the ego back, and that's going to be a topic of another video. That's going to be the deeper dive into this confidence pyramid. So the medicine here, the antidote for this mindfulness situation, in my opinion, is just basic mindfulness meditation, presence. Maybe you sit for 10, 20, 30 minutes in mindfulness. Or maybe you just start bringing mindfulness to your day, your actions, doing the dishes, taking a shower. Maybe you just stop right here and you take a deep breath and you listen. So when I do meditation, I like to sort of oscillate between a few things where my focus goes until I feel like I can integrate them all. There's so many options to learn meditation, so I'm not saying mine is the most correct version, but I like to bounce between breathing, focusing on my breath, then I observe my body, feel every part of your body, bring awareness to each part, and then I listen. And then eventually, after a few minutes, I try to bring them all together. So I'm feeling, I'm breathing, and I'm listening. And then when I can bring them together, that's when I really feel like, hey, now I'm meditating, now I'm here. So that is really important for your confidence, because nothing kills confidence more than thinking, overthinking, and just being in some fantasy land. You gotta be here. So number 2 in the confidence pyramid is going into the past. We need to go into the past and we need to look at the traumas that you've faced. This is top to bottom confidence, top to bottom. This is not a quick fix. This is hard work, but your life depends on it. The top to the bottom part involves going into the past and looking at traumas in your life. So what are traumas? Traumas are not only reserved for people who've been in car accidents or they've been in Iraq or something or been to war. Traumas are shared by everybody. Everybody has had trauma in their life, whether it's your uncle yelling at you because you were climbing on a fence. That is a moment in my life I remember so clearly, because typically you don't remember mundane things from 25 years ago unless they were traumatic. Or they can be as serious as a death or an illness or a car accident or those bigger sort of traumas. Wherever you are, you need to accept that yes, you do have traumas in your life, and yes, they are holding you back. This is a channel for adults. This philosophy is for men who want to evolve and who are not afraid to admit that they do have traumas. Don't be too cool and macho and tough to admit that, hey, I have some traumas in my life and they're holding me back. It's okay. Because ultimately we want to move towards that place of confidence, and we can't do that if we're still stuck in this moment, this memory we have where someone told you couldn't do something and they slapped you for it, and you're holding that. You've been holding that your whole life. So we have to go through and work through these bigger events. And I will say that this kind of work is very dangerous in a way, because it's going back into the past, and the past is a very fickle place. It can be very volatile, and if you do have these big traumas, I would highly recommend that you don't seek my advice, that you go get professional help for big traumas. If you're talking about little traumas, things that you think you can handle, then of course there are things that we can do for ourselves that we can move through. We can move through these concepts, these traumas, these ideas that we need to move past. We need to wrap our heads around them. A lot of traumas happen because we're too young to create a healthy interpretation of it. So my last disclaimer is, if you have some huge trauma and you know what kind of trauma is huge, you need to seek professional help and work through it with a real professional, because this can be dangerous. So there are alternatives though. There was a program I took called Lionheart Workshop, and it is now defunct. Unfortunately, it is not in operation, but this workshop and this online program, we would analyze whether or not we were focusing and living through our inner child, our inner teen, and the teachers of this program were excellent at showing us that we spend a lot of our time as adults, men and women, we spend a lot of our time still as an inner child and an inner teen. And there was a certain journaling exercise that we did in this program that was very helpful for moving past and sort of revisiting the past, and it was really awesome for my own personal growth. Other medicine would include exercises you can do, like journaling exercises. There are lots of books on Amazon about journaling through traumas, therapy, as I mentioned before, clinical help. Certain plant medicines have been used by certain people to move through past experiences, to get over them. I know there's a lot of clinical research now, which is something that wasn't available 5-10 years ago, using these plant medicines and things like MDMA for people who have PTSD. And so that is an incredible advancement in research, and I think it's very promising, some of those things. But as always, do your own research. These are not suggestions, these are just ideas. Hypnosis is very powerful for changing your subconscious, and we're going to talk about that, the subconscious, in a later part of the pyramid. I also like the work of Maxwell Maltz. He's the guy who wrote Psycho-Cybernetics. Matt Fury has a program, or a book, I'm sorry, called Theater of the Mind, which is also really good. He basically took the work of Maxwell Maltz from the 50s and he repurposed it and created something better out of it. Guided meditations are very powerful. You can find inner teen meditations, you can find inner child meditations in which you can return to the past and have messages for these parts of you that have been wounded by these traumas in your life. And there was also a program I did from Jordan Peterson called Self-Authoring, and there's a past, present, and a future part. The past was very powerful for me because it was the first time I went back into the past and analyzed parts of my past, events, things that I thought were really inconsequential, and realized that they had a lot of confidence on my life. And that sort of awareness is very powerful in your own growth and knowing what's holding you back. So as Sigma males, I think that we have a certain level of sensitivity. We were born with a certain level of sensitivity. It's not a bad thing, but it means that we might be a little more sensitive to holding on to traumas. So that's why I think that we have to go back and work through those things. The third part, we come to the present and we look at current confidence suckers. So we need to take stock of what we're doing daily, weekly, monthly, of the things that suck us dry of our confidence and self-esteem. So why does this happen? This happens because you're not in alignment with who you think you should be. So a lot of people are incongruent. They do one thing, they say another thing, they believe another thing, and they're all out of whack. They're all out of alignment. And this bleeds us dry of our confidence and self-esteem. Every day we do things that we don't believe we should be doing. We don't believe our best version of ourselves would do those things. I don't care your belief about modern life and how people nowadays have low character, or our culture is morally bankrupt, or we don't have integrity as people anymore. Whatever. Every person within them has a model, I think, of what character, morality, integrity, ethics, all those things look like. I believe everyone does, unless you are genuinely a sociopath and you just don't have those sort of natural, empathetic rules for what's right. And I think everybody has those, and not a lot of people live up to those, and that's why you see a lot of low confident people, not a lot of self-esteem, because every day we do things that lower our self-esteem, and we do them to ourselves. And I know in my own life I have so many things I do all the time that drain my self-esteem, because you start to criticize yourself. You know that what you're doing is not good for your greater benefit, the highest version of yourself, and then you start to chastise yourself because you broke your own rule. And every time you analyze and judge yourself, you're just cutting away that self-esteem. So you can get better at analyzing yourself, you can stop judging yourself, or you can focus on lowering the amount of things you do on a daily basis that are really bleeding your self-esteem. So awareness, identify, and remove those things. Jordan Peterson, again, he talks about make a list of things you do on a daily basis that are actually harming your growth, harming your life. And I think if you really took the time to do that, you would be a little shocked at how full that thing is. So before you get too deep into analyzing yourself and figuring out these things that are destroying your confidence in your present life, you might need to get a mental health diagnosis. So if you have undiagnosed mental health problems, they're going to manifest themselves in ways that are going to bleed you dry of confidence, feeling good, good mood, things like that. And without the help of a professional, you're not going to really truly understand Not everything can be solved by quitting porn. Not everything can be solved by quitting cigarettes. Not everything can be solved in how you feel about yourself just by getting on a ketogenic diet. There are some things you have to really work through and find the professional help. Basic diet, making sure that's in line with a good thing for you, making sure your neurotransmitters are properly functioning, becoming trigger-free. In today's world, it's sort of rare for someone to be trigger-free. So trigger-free person is someone who has complete self-generated emotions. They control their emotions within, and there's nothing that someone outside can say to them that is going to put them in their heads, belittle them, take away their personal power, detract from their confidence. How many people are like that? Let's be honest. Think about how many people out there can exist across many different arenas in life, different social situations, and you can just smash them with like a brutal insult, and they're just, that's okay, I'm good, I generate myself, my own emotions. I'm not going to be triggered by that. It's very rare in today's world, but famous quote, it is no measure of health to be well adjusted in a society that's sick or unhealthy. I'm paraphrasing that quote. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but if you think that you don't need to be confident because you look around and you see that other people aren't confident, I think that's a horrible way to look at life. So the medicine for analyzing and having awareness and identifying and then removing these current confidence suckers, self-analysis, being able to analyze yourself well and taking time to do so, constructive solitude. So don't just spend your time, your alone time, watching Instagram videos, watching YouTube videos, or daydreaming. Analyze yourself. Look at who you are. Construct this new person. Take stock of everything you're doing. What's good? What's serving me? What's making me happy? What's destroying me? Again, I bring up plant medicines. These have been anecdotally proven by some people to help them in addressing things that they're doing. Again, not a recommendation, but an idea. Journaling. I find journaling to be very important for me to get ideas down in a very clear way and understand, oh, I'm doing this that I should stop doing. There's a free book by a guy named Mark Queppet of Universal Man, I think it's called. And the book is called Metascript Method, and it's very effective at helping you journal through habits. It's very cool. I really enjoyed the way it helped me take that little pause, that little break in between my impulse and just diving into a habit. So you can find that on Google. Again, that's called Metascript Method. My digital mentor, Ian Stanley, he created something called the Second Self Meditation, and I find that to be very powerful in connecting with a sort of higher version of yourself, and sometimes that higher version will deliver me messages. It's an awesome meditation. You can Google that one as well. His name is Ian Stanley. His meditation is called Second Self Meditation. The other thing is visualization and guided meditation from my own channel. So you can find them on this channel, Sigma Spirit, and you can also find them on another channel we have called Mindful Wave Studio, soon to be called Beyond Bold Minds. And we have a bunch of guided meditations, affirmations, visualizations that will help you get that presence and awareness about what you're doing wrong. So that wraps up the third pillar of my confidence pyramid, current confidence suckers. So you'll notice we started at the present moment, inside and outside. The first pillar was mindfulness. inner present, generating emotions from within. The second part, we go into the past. Well, we go into the past on the inside, past traumas. And then for the third pillar, we went back to the present, but we focused a little more on the outside. Inner present, inner past, back to outer present. Because we're going to focus again on external things as we move through this. This is top to bottom confidence. This is not quick fix. This is not something you can do tomorrow. This is something I hope you can instill and spend the next 1 year, 2 year working through, because it will help you on that very deep transformation toward being a very confident person. The next few steps evolve in a really cool way. So we went present, past, present, and now we're going to focus on sort of the present, deep inner, subconscious things that have been programmed into your mind, the software that you're running. And we're going to change that software. And then we're going to go further and we're going to focus on the future, which is one of the final pillars of this confidence pyramid. Finding that person you want to be in the future, and then starting to rehearse what that future looks like. So we will get into that in another video, but I have to ask you, if you like this philosophy, this thing that I've created, my beliefs about confidence, then I want to ask you to tell me in a comment that you want to see the rest. Because if you don't, that's fine. I won't share it. I'll use it for myself and my own confidence. But if you're dying to know the rest, I want to teach this. I'm excited to teach this. I'm excited to share this. Our other channel, Beyond Bold Minds, is going to be strictly about this process, about this top to bottom confidence transformation. So if you want to see it, let us know. And thank you for watching. This is another Sigma Spirit video, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks.